Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. Now this video is something that I'm personally extremely excited about, and it's something that a lot of people have asked me. How do I always have so many diamonds? Now I was one of the first people in my server to become VIP 15 as a free-to-play player. Now it's not like my server didn't have any whales, it did. It's just that I became VIP 15 before them. Despite being completely free to play, as in I didn't even have a profile picture. I have a screenshot from the past when I was extremely consistent with the things I'm going to teach you in this video, and here it is. Well, you can see I have 1.1 million diamonds. Pretty impressive, right? Now, I don't have as many of them now because I'm not as consistent with the things that I'm telling you in this video, but I still have enough. So one of the obvious benefits of having so many diamonds is that you can empty out the VIP store without really thinking twice. And there's a lot of interesting things on the VIP store, and I buy a lot of them, other than maybe the resources because they're extremely expensive. And of course, there's the insect item, which I'm going to show you shortly. I don't buy it every time because I've already collected so many of them. I don't need to continue collecting them, these seaweed items that you see. Like I have over 200 of them, so I don't continue buying them each week. But you can see that I've collected a lot of sell items, all these other items on the VIP store, and that's extremely beneficial in the long run especially. So the first part of the video is fairly obvious. It's the strongest Warzone event. Now for that you need to make sure your zone developer is maxed out because it just helps you get the 9 shields much faster, especially max out double rewards. That gives you basically double the amount that you'd be getting otherwise. So if you go into strongest Warzone, you'll notice that you can collect a ton of diamonds. And if you add up all of these with the double rewards, it goes up to be about close to 30,000 diamonds each day. That's approximately 200,000 over a week. Now you're already getting 200,000 just from getting 9 shells each day. So the second part of the video is the most important part. It's about colony actions. Now I am sure everyone does colony actions every now and then, right? But there's a way to do them which can give you an amazing return on investment. Now, I've done a lot of research on colony actions to find out what is the best way to get as many diamonds as possible from them while also not losing all of your speed ups in the process. And that's what I'm going to explain in this video. First, I'm going to show you a little bit of a teaser to show you how much I make out of each colony action. Then I'm going to show you how. How can you make sure that you get the most out of these colony actions? And then at the end, I'm going to show you the results of a lot of my research on what are the colony actions that are the most valuable and the ones that you should definitely 3-shell each time. Now take a look at this. We're talking 4,100 diamonds, 34.5 hours of ad speed ups, and a lot of other prizes that colony action drops. And at a maximum, like if I were to restart these hatches and speed them up all the way through, it would cost me 60 hours of hatch speed ups to get there. Now 60 hours of hatch speed ups doesn't only get me third shell, but once you're going to take a look, it actually went beyond third shell. So I could essentially use at max much less than that, and I'd still reach third shell. It should give you an idea of how cheap it is to get such amazing rewards. Now just to clarify, I kept saying at maximum. That's because usually some of your hatching would already be done because let's say you left the hatching overnight. So you don't really need to use all those speed ups to get to the third shell. It's possible that by the time this colony action event came, all of your ants were already ready to hatch and all you had to do is click the buttons and you got third shell at no cost to you. So the trick is obviously you want to spend as little to get as much, right? So if you go into my profile, you'll notice that my hatch speed is fairly high, right? We're looking at about 342% for shooters. If you're there, amazing. If not, I can tell you how to get there. So cocoon mediums, they give you hat speed, and anything that gives you hat speed, you want to make sure you max it out, right? Then if you go into zone develop, there's this evolution that gives you hat speed, which also needs to be maxed out. Then if you go into your special ants, you'll notice that there's a bunch of these ants like acid ant that give you hat speed, and quite a lot of it too. We're looking at 60% and 25%. So definitely max out. And similarly, there's the equivalent ants for carriers and also for guardians. Max out their skills as well. Might as well, right? There's also these blue ants, like the bright blue ant for shooters. They also give the ability to increase your hat speed. And like everything else, if it's giving hat speed, max it out. It's definitely going to help you in the long run. Even if carrier and guardian isn't your main, it's still worth it because you are hatching all three of these at the end of the day, right? Now let's go to the insect. There is this orange insect that does increase your hat speed. So if you can 11-star it, do so. I wouldn't do it myself because I need all the orange insects I can get for my mantis. But if you have the ability, you could invest in this as well. And finally, getting that green skin star also helps you with the hat speed. So if you aren't there already, try to get good scores in Groundhog so you can get that green skin star as soon as possible. And that wraps up all of the tips that I have on how to get extremely high hat speed and how to be able to get 3 shells on each of these colony actions that involve hatching of soldier ants. Now, one thing I do want to note is that this is in particular for hatching soldiers. There's another one, a colony action that's fairly similar. It goes like get certain number of points for every 1 minute of speed ups used for hatching soldier ants. Don't do that. That is actually extremely expensive in terms of how much you'll need to spend. We're looking at about 9 days of speed ups just to get to the 3rd shell. So avoid that whenever you can. There are ways that you can use it, and I will mention it in the next part of the video where I'm going to go through a bunch of colony actions and how, which ones you should be focusing on. But don't try to 3-shell that one. Right, so now let's go through all the colony actions. So Monday is building day. So anything that has to do with building or hatching soldier ants, I make sure that I max them out. Right. So 3rd shell, anything that has to do with that until I'm done with SVS. And then it's just, of course, hatching soldier ants. Then if you go to Tuesday is our gathering day. So in gathering day, it's all about, hatching soldier ants. So I use some of them. I use the first one to make sure that my soldiers are ready to hatch. And the next 2, which are actually hatching them, I make sure I 3-shell them. Then let's go to the next day, which is evolution day. Anything that has to do with evolution, in particular creature remains, I 3rd-shell that. And of course, hatching soldier ants also always gets 3rd-shelled. Then Thursday is our special ant day. Everything that has to do with special ants, I 3rd-shell them. So I don't go over the 4 million to get the 3rd shell. I will spread it out across the different colony actions. Friday is hatching soldiers day. So what I usually do here is that I'll use these ones that give you points per minute of speed ups up until 2nd shell. And anything that has to do with hatching soldier ants itself, I'll 3rd-shell those. Then Saturday, it's your free choice day. Now, if you chose soldier hatch day, then of course you can do exactly the same as Friday. But if not, either way, you just want to make sure that you 3rd-shell all of the ones that have anything to do with hatching soldier ants. And then Sunday, it's all about hatching insects. Now you want a third shell almost all of the ones that have anything to do with hatching insects, other than the first one that comes around, because that one is about 15 million points to get to the third shell, which is unreasonably expensive, and you should definitely avoid that. But everything else that has to do with hatching insects, third shell it, right? And finally, there's this special one that you can see. It gives you points for both building power and also for speed ups for building. Now I used to third shell this all the time because it was such an amazing deal. Remember, it's like 5 million points to get to third shell with both like building power and speed ups for building. But you do eventually realize that you will run out of buildings, and then wasting it on a Sunday is not valuable. But what you can do is start a new building on Sunday, like upgrading a new building, and then just speed it up so that it completes on building day. And just the speed ups are going to give you certain number of points, and you might get to 2 shells, or if you were able to do more than 3 days of speed ups, you might even get 3 shells on this one. So that's a tip that you should remember for this one, the one that happens the first thing on the Sunday, and of course every 8 hours after that. Alright, and that wraps up our diamond video. I hope it was useful to you. I know it was relatively long, so if you're still around, I'm pretty impressed, and I think you are looking good to get a lot of diamonds very soon. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to share this video to others. I'm happy if more people get to see it. It is something that a lot of people were interested in, so I'm sure if you're sharing it with people, they'll really appreciate it. I hope they do. I tried to make this video as entertaining as I could at 3 a.m. at night while I'm half asleep. Anyhow, please also feel free to comment other ideas for different videos. We'd be happy to produce them for you if we are able to. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great one.